From the majestic gates of Bab Zuwayla and Bab al-Futuh to the intricate artistry of Al-Hakim Mosque and also the soul of Al-Mu'izz Street, we today talk about the Fatimite Cairo with Sherouk Mamdouh, the tour guide and Egyptologist, to walk us through many facts about this legendary place. So Sherouk, I would like to welcome you to this interview.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So first of all, would you please tell me more about the Fatimite Cairo? What makes it stand out as special among the other historical places in Cairo?
Fatimite Cairo, it's one of the most special and unique places. That it's one of the oldest Islamic city that is still active until nowadays from all over the world. It's inhabited continuously since 969, since it was founded by Al-Mu'izz al-Din al-Fatimi during the 10th century. That's why it makes it really unique. It's a blend that you can see this urban area that dates back 10th century, but people still live there. You still see the vibrance, the energy there. So that's very unique than any other place in Egypt.
Sure. So when tourists visit this special place, as you have just mentioned, what are the key highlights that they shouldn't miss at all at this place?
Everything in Fatimite Cairo is really unique,
Sure.
starting from the huge gate of Bab al-Futuh. Like the fascinating thing that you still can see the original gate that dates back to the 11th century until nowadays. You get inside, you're a completely different world. You can see Al-Hakim Amrillah Mosque, and then you go deep, you can see the original houses like Beit al-Sahimi, for example. So you can see the original windows that made out of wood, like the Mashrabiya and the Mashrafiyya. And then you keep walking, you see the craftsmen, the people who can still making crafts handmade there.
Sherouk, what does it feel when you have your own group of tourists walking in the Al-Mu'izz Street, because it's called an open-air museum? So what is this experience, if you can tell me more about this?
It's a real open-air museum for the Islamic architect. That you keep walking there. It starts, as I mentioned, from the 10th century, but every single thing inside is from different time, from different era. So you can see all style during the Islamic time, and you can see the awe and the surprise in their eyes, because they didn't expect that. They didn't just hear about the pharaohs. But as I always mention, Egypt is layers of history. It didn't stop by the ancient Egyptians. It's continued by the Greco-Roman, Coptic, Islamic, and that's why Egypt is really unique. It's a very diverse country.
Sure, and let me acknowledge that your eyes are glazing when talking about the Islamic city. And this will lead me to ask you about tourists when they come to Egypt. Do you often meet them, they are coming to Egypt with knowledge regarding the Islamic city, or is it a surprise discovery for them?
They hear about it, but they didn't expect much. Like they knew, they will visit a mosque, but that's it. But when you go there, you don't just visit a mosque. You visit a mosque, madrasa, school, hospital from that time that still stand. Especially when you go at night, it's a completely different vibes. And I just recently, I have a tour, and I heard something that's very special. One lady, she told me this was her best night in her entire life in Islamic Cairo at night.
Wow.
She said, I heard about it, but I never expect to feel that energy and the hospitality of people.
Okay, so the place, it has a certain energy that is it is contagious, if I can say, to everyone who visits it.
Yeah, she said she stayed there until 2 o'clock in the morning. She can't stay that in her own country. She doesn't feel that safe in her own country.
Wow.
Which is fascinating.
Sure, sure. So can you share one of your favorite historical anecdotes or stories linked to a specific location in the district in general?
So, for example, we have Al-Qalawun complex. This place, it's a madrasa, which is a school, a mosque, and a hospital. It's only built in 13 months. And when you tell people about that, I can see, like, I can sense the respect to the craftsmen to that time. Like, okay, so that wasn't just a dark time or medieval ages, like in different worlds, it was here. Still, the art of the ancient Egyptian didn't stop. It
I didn't know
continued.
this. This is fascinating. Only 13 months?
13 months.
How
The
so?
whole complex.
How so?
So, which is fascinating. It's about passion and power. You can see how they were insistent to work day and night to show the power of their leaders.
Yes. So are you seeing more interest from tourists in this area from Egyptians, especially younger generations or even school groups when they visit this place?
Recently, I started to notice that. Like, I start to see children's schools around the historical site in Islamic Cairo, which is really interesting because if you didn't learn about your history, you won't have that connection.
Sure.
And which is really important because history repeats itself and you need to be proud of who you are.
Yes. So also regarding the local crafts, what role do local crafts and also the street life and surrounding communities, in your point of view, play in enriching the visitor experience in Islamic Cairo in particular?
So if you're walking in Al Mu'izz Street, once you walk inside, you can see the local people who are making the copper plates. You can see the old man who's making this hand by hand, and you can see his passion there. Yeah, it's not too many people do that, unfortunately, but you still can see the craft still survive. Then walk behind in Darb al Asfar, behind the Mu'izz Street in the Ilway, and you see people making the scale, the old style of the scale, not the digital ones. And I see the, like in my tours, they see like, "Oh, we haven't seen this for ages." Like, you still have that, and they see this is really fascinating. Or during Ramadan, and we start to see like the lantern, the fanuses, and all that. Then going to Al Mu'izz Street, from there to Khan al Khalili Bazaar, one of the oldest bazaar. You can see there all the gold and jewelry and everything.
You made me really excited to give it a visit very soon.
You have to. You can join me.
Of course. So here I would like to ask you, Sherouk, as a tour guide and also an Egyptologist, do you think that this place, the Fatimite Cairo, is receiving the enough attention after all the campaigns that is done from official institutes and organizations in Egypt?
I can see a change, but it still needs a lot of more campaigns because, as I told you, people didn't know much about that overseas. Like, they hear about it, but didn't expect that. And it's really a great opportunity to show that Egypt is diverse. You can come to Egypt and as if you're visiting like 5-6 different countries.
Okay.
See the ancient artifacts, the Muslim, the Coptic, everything in one place, which is great opportunity. If you're in one country and you can see all that, so it's layers of history.
Okay, so talking about the festivals, the events that are done in this place, to what extent do you think they are helpful in attracting more visitors, more tourists, and even more Egyptians?
Yeah, if you didn't know, we have a very interesting place called Wikalat al-Ghuri. Wikalat al-Ghuri, it dates back to the 16th century. Wikala means agency, but back in the time it was a commercial area, like Martian place. And now it's like a cultural center. They have events related to the folklore dance, like the Tanura dance.
Yes,
so
of
it's
course.
a mix of the folk Egyptian dance with the Sufi symbolism.
Yes.
And yeah, surprisingly, a lot of people, they knew about that and they come just to visit and to see this. And you
Wow.
can stand in 16th century historical theater and watch this, performance.
Wow, I really love this. So, Sherouk, if you would like to describe the Fatimite Cairo in one sentence, what would it be?
That's very difficult. But let's say
Let's
if you've
try.
been to Egypt and if this is your first time here, don't miss Fatimite Cairo. It's the heart of Cairo. It's where Cairo starts, and don't miss this chance to feel the energy, to see real Egypt, a real authentic experience.
Real, authentic experience. I would like to thank you so much, Sherouk Mamdouh, the tour guide and also the Egyptologist, for being here with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.